Ah, God. Bro. New sound effects. Well, this one. Oh, I had that. I've got to do something to make this entertaining because this episode is going to be grim. But the good news is that I got a new contract with Wednesday and we didn't get relegated. So let's have a look at the second half of the season. If we must. Right, so I ended the last episode saying we wanted to beat Derby. We did. We beat Maidenhead, good. Then we lost to Coventry, really not good. Not a clue what happened there. Then we beat Wickham, good. Then we lost to Doncaster, really bad. Really, really just bad. Losing to a League One team the way that we did. First half was pants. We were really rubbish. Bournemouth then carried over. We weren't actually expecting to beat Bournemouth away. And then we got Preston, where we won again. So at this point, I'm not unhappy with that as a month. We definitely should have won either the Donny or the Coventry game. But it is what it is. Then we beat Swansea 5-1. What? I couldn't believe it. It was genuinely hilarious. And I don't know what changed. We just got off on the right start and killed them. It was great. So our goal scoring has actually been rather prolific. If you look at all these games, we scored every game in January, we scored every single game in February, and we scored 5 goals in 5 games in March. So all good, and that scoring form really carried on. So give the chairman credit. He wants us to play attacking and entertaining football. I was very inclined at several times to go, no, we did it. We carried on with it, and it did seem to work. We made the most out of a bad situation. We came into April. This is where we played safe. The start of April, we had a really good run. Watford away 2-2. Stunning result. Really, really delighted with it. Then we beat Cardiff. Then we drew away at QPR, which I was fine with. And then we beat Bristol City. And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we were safe. We knew we were safe. And then we lost to Blackburn, Middlesbrough, Forest, and Derby to finish the season. Now, I'm not going to moan too much about that because Forest, Blackburn, Derby, Middlesbrough. So let's be honest, we probably should have got a couple of points, but we're never going to win that. So it was really important that we got safe early. We did. We did all right. 47 points out of 46, and in fact, we actually got 53 out of 46 because of our 6 point deduction. So I wasn't unhappy with that, but it was a slog. I had to pull out every single trick in the book to make it work. The board was happy, B minus. They're not overly happy. They got disappointed I didn't play attacking football. I'm really sorry, but we did. You just didn't recognize it because we didn't make it work because we didn't have the players to make it work. So, what does that actually look like in the in the table if we go to the stats? And be ready for this because this is going to hurt. So, we did all right in the. Let me go to the. We did all right in the games without winning column. Yeah, no, that doesn't really matter, does it? We did really well considering the talent level that we have in the team. Attacking was good. We managed to score 6 to 7 goals. We only scored 4 from corners, and all season we've been training corners. We've been changing the set pieces. We've been wanting to get more effective from corners. It just didn't happen at all. I'm not sure why, because we actually have the tools to do it, but it didn't work out that way. But that's not the problem. You can already see our name here. Expected goals against. We were wide open. And that resulted in 79 goals against. The second worst record in the league. Now, this is important because this episode is actually about what we're going to do different going forward. We've been playing 4-4-2 on positive. We've changed the pace that we played at. We changed the directness. We changed offside trap on, off. We changed the width of the team. We changed whether we played over the wings or not. All season long, we've been experimenting in that 4-4-2. I can't make it work defensively. The other thing that I can't make work, I'm now very clear on, Matt Penny and Dominic Jorfa, my left and right back. I know that they can be the best left and right back in this league. They've got that tool set, but not defensively. Jorfa is actually really good defensively, but also quite strong going forward. Matt Penny is just a left wing, sort of, he needs to cover the left wing, but don't ask him to actually defend because he can't. And he's exposed us several times by being a poor defender. But those two players are core of my plans going forward. So we're going to change the system up. We need to become more responsible at the back. We've actually got our best player in terms of average rating over the season, Cameron Dawson. Our second best player, if I'm not mistaken, is Ricky J. Jones, because of his flare up at the end of the season, did really well. Then we've got Barry Bannon, who's our creative midfielder, who did all right. And then we've got Liam Gibbs, who's a youngster who shouldn't be counted. We've got Callum Patterson, who's our striker. Then we've got Jorfa. So Jorfa is doing all right, but he's not doing enough. Then we've got Fissi Delbashiru. Then we've got Shea Dunkley, who's really not a great defender, but he's doing all right for us at the moment. But in general, we're just struggling a bit. If you look at this table, we're not getting anything overly positive, right? We scored loads of goals, but I don't really see where they've come from. I don't know if you do, but it's not great. We're not assisting enough. Andre Green actually did a decent job. Callum Patterson, playing him as a defensive target man, support target man, actually started to assist. He had a very dry spell in terms of scoring, made him more of a servant, and that worked well because Ricky J. Jones actually picked up and scored 11 goals in, let's say, 20 games. So we've got perspective in this squad. I think that is really important. We are talking about building for the future. And building for the future means that you put a squad together that's going to win games going forward, but also that has a floor that you can build on with a ceiling that you can work towards. And if we look at this team, we've got that ceiling, because if you go to general and then you go to age, I mean, do I need to say more? Right? Our squad is now the youngest squad in the championship. It's got lots of potential. It's got some good, steady hands that are a bit older, 25, 27, 29. We've got a team. I genuinely believe we've got a team that can compete in the championship. But how? So, how are we going to do that? Well, this is what I'm playing around with. This is my basic formation that I'm intending to start this season. So what you can see here is that we've got two ball-playing defenders. Actually, Ryan Porteous does quite well as a ball-playing defender, I discovered, so that's useful. And Urugid is probably going to be on the other end. He might well play as a central defender. I've not worked it out yet. Dominic Jorfa, Matt Penny. You know what? Let's put the puppets in. We've got Cameron Dawson. We haven't got a backup keeper, by the way, because I sold finally Kieran Westwood. I want Urugid. I want Porteous. I want Jorfa. Funnily, Callum Patterson can also play right back. I didn't know that. Matt Penny, and then halfback, we're going to put in Jacob Davenport. He's been really disappointing this season. You may recall I brought him in early on to be an understudy for Sam Hutchinson. We got rid of Sam Hutchinson in the winter transfer window, and this guy was supposed to pick up that ball-winning midfielder role. Didn't do it. And actually, I think it's because I'm playing him wrong. I've not been playing him at his strengths. So if you look at his stats, you can see he's got really good work rate, teamwork, and bravery and aggression. So he's a guy who throws himself into the tackle, and who also tries long-range passes. Now, his passing isn't great, but his tackling and marking for the midfielder are pretty good. His first touch is all right. Playing him as a halfback actually plays him at his strengths a lot more. And I think that's possibly, I might be wrong, but I think this could secretly, low key, be our key to success. This boy. Who knew? When I brought him in, I didn't expect that much from him anyway. Paid 350. We bought him because we needed someone in that position. I think he's going to be all right there. Then on the midfield, we are going to be playing Fissi Delabashiru and Barry Bannon. Except if I manage to sell Barry Bannon. Because he's still on big money. He's worth a bit still. Yeah, the goal's not quite finished yet. But yeah, Barry Bannon. And then this position here is interesting. I have got several options. One is to throw him out to the wing. And then I could play Kadeem Harris. As a winger, I know that he will score. I know that he will actually create opportunities. So that would be really useful. Then alternatively, I could play that. So I could actually put Callum Patterson there. And I could put someone like Andre Green on the left. Also as a winger, no, as an inside forward and attacking. This will give us quite a nice overload on the wings, on both sides. It'll keep us pretty secure in the back, but we are weak on the wing positions. So that's something that I'm playing around with. And you can tell I've not made my mind up yet. But what I'm trying to do is to use the players I've got that I want to build on and give them a platform to work from. So this year we will see a lot more of Urugid, whose name I've got to change because I keep saying it differently. We will see more of Davenport, we will see more of Fissi Delabashiru, we will see more of Andre Green, who's actually already impressed me this season, and there's some other youngsters that we will see as well. The key player that's missing in this lineup is Ricky J. Jones, and that might well be solved by doing something like this and have him as a. I think it's a pressing forward. Let me see. Poacher. That's what I want. A poacher is a really underrated role, I think, in this game. A poacher is someone who doesn't really help with defense at all. And when he plays that close to Patterson, I don't need him to. What I do want him to do is to constantly batter that back line, look for openings, and run at them. Run, run, run. Because one thing that we're definitely changing this season is that we're not going to give so much space to the opponent. So we played, and I've kept these settings the same. We played with a higher defensive line with an offside trap. That's not going to happen. What we're actually going to look for is something like that. Maybe that. I've not quite made my mind up yet. No more offside trap. What I'm looking for is space for Ricky J. Jones to run into. Ricky J. Jones has got one skill, that is run like the wind. He can catch the ball, well, not catch it, but he can take the ball and run, and then he scores. And he's done that. He's proven that he can do that. That's what I want. So that's what we're going to set the system up for. If you then look at Callum Patterson's role, it's going to be much more subservient. He's going to be a threat, hopefully, if we can get these bloody set pieces right. He's going to be the threat from set pieces. And then we've got Kadeem Harris to cut in and create mayhem, whilst we've got Penny and Diofa bombing down the backs, the sides, to create space, to overload, to help people with that overlap. That's basic plan at the moment. And we've got a lot of work to do. We've got the players to make it work. Now I need to work on the mentality. So, the next episode, we're going to be going to the start of the season. I don't expect much in terms of transfers because, I took the wage bill from 375 to 215 for the start of next season. huge savings, huge cost-cutting exercise. And one of the most important things going to chairman is that we become financially stable. Because we're not. We're still losing money hand over fist. Sheffield Wednesday. Big to need. Bye.